Hi everyone. Today's Friday, February the 2nd, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Marie Baiynd. Traders have been waiting to trade this market after we find out what the jobs numbers are going to be like. You can see that volume has really drifted off over the last several days and continues to decline. However, this morning, we could see that shift. And so I wanted to quickly look at the daily charts in the ES and let us sort of see what's going on very, very quickly in our setups. So what we are poised at is value area high, range expansion, very likely here. Which direction? I don't know. But what I can do is measure the wave of high to low. Low would be Jan 13th. High would be January 24th. The midline, 59.84. We haven't seen that number in 4 trading days. And so we look for a big wick to bring us buyers and a huge spike to bring us sellers. All right, we are well up over some pretty important gamma lines. There's one at 60, 68, and then let's see where the other one is sitting. This is from yesterday's data. We've got an important one at 61.34, and then above that is 40, 61.40. Nick for a tick also mentioned that 61.35 yesterday, and then 61.50, the big fat round number. Realize that when you use gamma lines, what they tell you is an approximate place that traders are going to have to make a decision. And that decision is going to be, okay, I'm going to trade short at this area, or I'm going to trade long at this area. So it's not simply resistance or support. It is an area that an action event is going to take place, so you can anticipate what that action event might look like. But it's very important to realize that you could be wrong. So let the traders tell you what they're going to do and then execute. All right, what are the numbers for us to watch today? We have value area high at somewhere around 61.02. We have the 50% line at 59.83, and of course we are discussing the E-mini S&Ps. The breakaway line that shows the all-time highs is 61.62. We've got gamma lines floating around there all the way to 61.75 with a memorable one at 61.50. Easily. That's what we're looking at. Let's collapse to the 1 hour. Here's what we can see. Grinding upside. Listen, I know I sound like a broken record saying dips are buy zones. But how much proof do you need? Dips or buy zones? Yeah, Anne-Marie, but I don't know which dips. Well, that's why we use the 1 hour chart, and that's why we wait for the traders to tell us what to do. So what do we have here? Bullish momentum. It's kind of long in the tooth, so we're probably going to see this. And of course, with the jobs numbers coming up in a little bit over an hour, that's what we're likely to see. Okay? Could you put some wishing orders out here? Could you go all the way up here and say, hey, if it comes into 61.50, I'm going to short it. If it comes down into 60.60, I'm going to go long. Of course you can. Just manage your risk. Set your stops or go very small. Use an MES, one of the micros, to help you with the position. Where's the go, no-go today? Well, I think it's going to be very near this 60-70 area. Could it be 60-80? Of course. It could also be 60-70. So let it collapse and bounce, and then watch for the higher lows and move right in. So go, no go, I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to call it 60, 76. That's not really splitting the difference, but you know, almost. All right, that's what we're looking at. Man, that took me a long time. I hate when my ideas are muddled. All right, quickly. NQ, also trending up, a little bit sideways. Still buy the dip, friends. Still buy the dip. What are we looking at? Where's the go, no go? Well, you know, it's on a daily chart. It's 1,000 points away. That's saying something, right? Let's measure the wave in the NQ here. We're going to go high to low. Here comes the sneeze. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I do not want to edit today, so I'm sorry that sneeze came in there. All right, so here we are. We can see a bottoming formation and a topping formation. Momentum is still cresting upward. Amazon reported last night, kind of a nothing burger in terms of actual motion, but we might see a continuation of that. We might see a continuation of motion after the fact here as volatility begins to heat up. So what are we staring down? Upward pressure. Buy the dip. Look at all the higher lows. Look at all the higher highs. That tells us buy the dip. Let's go to the hourly chart in the NQ. We can see that we are above. That's a 2x of the wave that we created on this hourly candlestick formation. Notice we've had no volume to match the volume of that candle. I suspect that changes today. We'll see how it goes. But we're up over the 2 slot, so 2618 to 2.5. That would be the next step in my mind. Where's the go, no go line? 21,710. As long as we're above that area, pulling back into that zone, you're going to find buyers. We've got gamma lines sitting at 22,000 and 22,100. They've been rising every day. What does that tell you? Traders are moving their formations upward in the direction of trend and momentum. So the go, no-go line, 21,710. Above there, all the dips going to be buy zones. Below there, we're going to have ourselves some retracement. Point of control, 21,569. VWAP, 21,600. Where's the breakaway? You want to chase it? Have at it. This is sideways to me. I don't like chasing sideways formations. Notice, here we are. Oh my gosh, it's moving up. Boom, comes right back down. Why is that more likely? Sideways formations. Could it be different here because we have greater momentum? Yes. So if you try it, you better have your stop tight or you better have your risk small in terms of size. Okay? Upward projections, easily 21,960, 22,100. Listen, a lot of people have been trying to sell off of this high. If it rockets out, the shorts that have been holding on for days, they are going to get clobbered. Don't fight the directional market if it shows up. And it's been grinding upside for days. All right, let's take a look at the YM. That's the E-mini Dow. Daily chart showing a little bit of a topping formation, but trend still telling us that we're going to buy the dip formation, right? This underneath all the moving averages, VWAP pointing down, we know, see you, bye-bye, right? Bounces or sell zones, here we have a double bottom, we have technical divergence, and then off she goes to the races. Here, not a ton of technical divergence. So the dips have been very solid buying events. If we stare that down and we go high to low, we give us a wave. The most recent, most solid volume event all the way back here. And you can see we've broken out of it. We've drawn this one. What's this? No, this one's December 20th. Right? Take a look at where we are. 100, 200 is where we are here. 300 is where we are there. And that means 2x, 3x as we rotate up through the price action. You can see some heavy congestion around 44,300. Let's go to the hourly chart to see what our go and no-go lines are. Check this out. Straight line for momentum. Price, not so much. Buy the dip, though. Buy the dip. Where's the go, no-go? 44,700. Above the area, any pullbacks into that area are going to be buy zones. Below the area, we have to give them a chance to recover. But if they bounce and close a candle underneath 44,706, we're going to retrace into these lower edges and the value area low, 44,472. Right now, very sideways. So trending in the direction of momentum, I would say, wait for the dips, wait for them, and we could get a pretty nice one with the jobs number. Whipsaw motion, of course, and then we'll see what happens, okay? Going to be beautiful. Yeah, I like it. We'll see. I think we're going to get a lot of volatility, and that makes for fun intraday trading, just so long as you don't step out in front of a moving semi, right? Let's look at Bitcoin. Is this slowing down or what? Now, a lot of times when a chart creates a base like this, it's just bringing new buyers into the mix. And so take a look. See how this volume node in the profile, big bunching up here, big bunching down here. Take a look at what happened when it began to bunch. Look at this. Sideways, 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 sideways. Rocket ship to the north. Sideways, 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 sideways. So, what do we think about? I, for one, would love to get involved on the pullback into this low volume node. That's 77,000. You guys know I've been calling for this number for a while. Between 80,000 and 73,000. Great buy zones for this instrument. Going crazy right now, but in the end, it's forming a ledge, and the thin volume event is going to cause that reflexive action. It's going to say, yep, I'm in, or holy cow, I got to head for the hills. So I would get down here, consider the buy at that 77,000 zone, and then if it loses 75,000, make sure you trim your size back enough to handle the ride to 70. And if that loses it, good night, Irene, right? So far, on the hourly chart, what we've got is nothing but sideways action, but a grinding move of sideways action. We're getting lower lows, we're getting slightly higher highs. It's pretty ugly, if you ask me, right? A volume event, let me delete this one, remove this fib, and then remove this fib. Let's remove all the fibs. Okay, the highest volume event is this tiny candlestick, right? And if we do that, it does get a little noisy to the downside. But as long as we don't breach 100,000, all the bounces are going to be sell zones, right? What's the no, go, go? All right, the go, no, go for micro Bitcoin. It's going to be above 100,000. Short sellers are going to get caught on the back foot. If it comes into 93,000, going to be a good buy, but this is a sideways slosh. And so intraday, the longs are going to be off 96,000 and the shorts are going to be off 100,000, and your risk should be no more than $1,500, right? So sideways motion giving us not really a grand opportunity for a go, no go. All right, so yesterday I presented an argument. If you were on Top Step TV with me on Fast Markets, I said, hey, listen, every single bounce in oil is going to be a sell zone. Now, how can I say that with a great deal of confidence? I can, but who knows if I'm right or not, right? Here's what we notice. Today, at the point of control on the daily chart, We are trying to bounce off of 70.30. As this formation looks, look at how negative momentum is. Look at how negative trend is. Whenever we have something that looks like that, right? Do reflexive bounces occur? Absolutely, right? Especially if we start getting far away from these moving averages. We'll reflexively bounce into them, as you can see, right? Slope action here, reflexive bounce here. What do I suspect today? A potential reflexive bounce. Of course, it might not bounce if the job numbers are whatever, right? I don't know what these job numbers are going to. These are not real numbers, FYI, folks. They're estimations, and they're calculations, and they're always revised. And we're so addicted to trading that we'll trade literally off of anything. Okay? It just, I hate it when these things don't lock. All right, so here we are, taking a look at the hourly chart in oil. Highest volume hourly candlestick, February 4th, 9 a.m. candlestick formation. Very big. So let's draw that one. Are we inside that range? You betcha, right? Did we drop outside the range? Yeah, we did, and we immediately recovered. That tells us there's a buying pressure event here, right? To lose a low and then immediately recapture it. Okay, I'm using the word immediate a bit loosely. It recaptures it, and ever since this morning, it's been on the run. What is intraday momentum? It's up to flat. What is intraday trend? It's down to flat. So a decision zone is being created here. Take a look at the last time we hit all those moving averages. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours for us to resolve around the $72 range. What could happen today? Basing formation to the left between $70.97 and $71.34. Above there, I think we're back up to 72. Intraday motion tells us that's very likely. Back up into 72. When will my theory about what's happening in oil show as broken? Intraday, that's going to happen if we bounce through and over 71.30-ish. Then we're going to start climbing up to 71.50, 71.80, 72, 72.30. Bullish motion in terms of this small piece. Overall trend down. And you can see lower highs here. What we're looking for is the dip that holds the low at $70.40 or holds a higher low at $70.70. My suspicion is that the go, no-go line is $70.67. If it pulls back to this 70-60 area and holds, we've got upward action into 72. If it fails, we are headed lower. And right now, the Keltner channel is pressing up. So I suspect pullbacks are going to be buy zones today in oil. Am I G2 or G3? Let's see. Can't remember. Okay, gold back up at 28.89. All right, so this is an old contract here. 28.80. Here we go. All right, so what are we staring down? Let's look at the dailies. Gold's on a run, folks. Hear a lot of people just spouting off, hey, you know, it's a flight to safety. People are worried. This is a simple mechanical event. People are buying gold because our fiat currencies across the world are in a dumpster fire. And people who buy gold, largely central banks, are going to continue to force this higher. I would not be surprised if this thing was $4,000 by the end of the summer. Seriously. Now, if we have a liquidity event, it's going to collapse. But here's the beauty. With gold and our gold futures contract here, GC, it's pretty easy to see dips or buy zones. No need to be running, shorting. That being said, we've got a little bit of a topping formation here at 2,900. I don't know what the gamma lines are yet. I have not checked them with Mentor Q, but I wanted to eyeball it first. Let's take a look at the biggest volume candle. Interestingly, the last two biggest volume candles have been sellers, right? So what I want to do is just draw a wave, and I'm going to draw a wave from the cleanest part, high to low. And wouldn't you know it, the 1.5 is 2901, right? Careful buying breakouts today. That's all I'm saying. This chart needs a retrace, and so I see a topping formation. Okay, now, what does the chart actually say on the 1 hour? It says we're sideways, lady. We could move all the way to 2,906 if there are a lot of sellers there, and we shove past it, we're going to head to 2,924. No doubt about it. Might take a little while, might be choppy, but there are a lot of sellers that are beginning to pile up here. You can see that as a liquidity line. Okay, what's the trade? Pullbacks or buy zones? Where is the ideal pullback? Well, yesterday I was looking for 2881. As you can see, it left me in the dust. It came to 2884. Today, I would say that number is still 2881. Now, if you're trying to push the envelope for the go, no-go line, you might say, well, Anne-Marie, I do have upward momentum. It's high. It's drifting lower. So I know my dips are buys. Why can't I just come into my moving average? Oh, my mouse needs charging. Sorry. Why don't I just come into the moving average and try it at 2884 and let that be my go, no-go line? You absolutely can. What I would say is that today, if it comes into the 2880, because we collapsed so far yesterday, see, if we lost 2880 yesterday, I was thinking 2840 was going to be the next line in the sand, right? But again, it stopped just shy of that number and began to retrace. So 2860 to 2900 is what I anticipate as price action events today. If you stare this 2860 down, it'll be good for you. Ideally, I think it'll make a great buy zone as long as you wait until it recaptures, right? Gold can get very volatile, very long in the tooth. It can move $60 at a clip, right? It moved from 2802 to 2880 in just a few hours. It can be very savage. You want to be very careful. All right. Sorry, long-winded. I forgot to apologize for not having a session yesterday. I did some upgrades and then all kinds of permissions issues. But we're good. I'll see you all on the Moneyball Midday Report, and we'll be golden. Take care.